Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Juanita Rogers with Living in the Word Ministries. Hey, I just want to get on here real quick. Something just really came to me, and I just felt led to get on YouTube just to bring to your attention that in spite of the pandemic is a word of encouragement for those who may be struggling in this season as far as purpose is concerned, especially with the uprising of COVID and the Delta variant, the disease. And so with the numbers going up and things are happening, people are dying, I still want to encourage those on this evening that in spite of the pandemic, whatever God has called you to do, even in the midst of the pandemic, it cannot stop you. When your heart is dead set on doing what God has called you to do and to have that relation, especially first of all, having that relationship with Him, pressing in spite of what the enemy is trying to throw in your way, and things that are happening, circumstances may not be perfect, things are coming at you, things are not probably falling into place the way you had planned. That is okay. And know that God is going to work it out, and He's going to perfect the thing that concerns you. Just know this. There are some things that God has called us to do as His people, as His disciples, as His children. And whatever He has sketched, prepared for us, when we're walking in sync with Him, regardless of our sin nature, the things that are trying to rise up even within us, don't you know when you press towards God, when you draw nigh to Him, and this is in James, I think in chapter 5 says, when we draw nigh to Him, He will draw nigh to us. Submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. That's a promise. That's His word. And God is not a man that He should lie, that whatsoever He's spoken, He's going to bring it to pass. And so, no, regardless of what is coming our way, regardless of what the news is saying, the people of God are set. If God be for you, He's more than the world that is against you, and greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. So regardless of the threat of this pandemic, of this virus, even if you catch the virus, don't you know if it's not your time to die, you are not going to die. God is going to sustain you, and He's going to bring you through. And so, yes, other people have died and gone on because it was their time. But for some of us, it is not our time to die. It is our time to go forth and to thrive in God like never before. So whatever God has for you in the earth realm, it's just not only to use you, but God has some things for you. Relationships, career, ministry, things that you never thought you could ever have. God has it for you. And I know sometimes with some of the prosperity messages that have come forth where that has just totally been the center. No, don't get me wrong, but God has some things for us. Ministry. There's some things that He wants to do through us, some things He wants to speak through us, some things that He wants to bless people with through us, knowledge and understanding that He wants to make known through us to other people. Things that we've gone through, things that we've experienced. Some of those things God wants to use because it would be a blessing to other people, and it would be an eye opener for other people. It would be enlightening, and it would help them to get on track. Wow, God did this with them. They went through this and they made it. I'm going through what I'm going through, but look at what God has done with them. So I just wanted to encourage you that even in the midst of the pandemic, you still can thrive. And whatever God has for you, you're going to get. Just stay on track, regardless of what the enemy tries to throw your way, what he tries to whisper in your ear. Be careful who you allow into your space. But whatever God has promised, He's not a man that He should lie. But whatsoever He has spoken, it's going to come to pass. And so just get ready. Stay prepared. Keep your mind on Him. Keep His word before you. Keep Him in your eye range. Keep Him front and center. Keep your focus on Him. Even when the enemy tries to come with thoughts of what we hear in the special events that are going on in the world today, just keep your mind stayed on. It's like, God, I bring this before you. And I believe God will let you know when it's your time. When it's your time to even depart from here. I know that God has allowed me to be in tune when it's time for my seasons to shift, or it's time to go to another level, or it's time to move to another city and everything. God will let you know. Like with my grandmother, he let her know he was going to take her. In the year of 2000, she passed away. And she told me, she said, the Lord has already told me he's going to take me. I think it was in the May of 2000 when she let me know. And so in October of 2000, he took her. And so just like he lets you know that, hey, it's a shift that's coming. Hey, this door is about to open. Get ready, prepare. I think sometimes, I don't know, with everybody, I think sometimes God will let his children know that, hey, it's time to go. And so, but right now, it's not your time to die. For some of us, it's not time for us. Some of us going to be here until Christ returns. When he descend in the air with the shout of an archangel, and he gonna tell his people, come up here. There gonna be some here that, two, the Bible said 2 will be in the field, 1 will be taken up, 1 will be left. So some of us gonna be here till Christ returns. And so some of you be praying, you getting your will ready. Some of you, it's not your time to die. It's not. It's time for you to be used. It's like God's like, I'm gonna get ready to use you. And so don't, yes, be responsible. God honors that. Getting your will ready, making sure everything is in place just in case. God honors that. God honors that. And so I just wanted to get on here and encourage you all, because I'm at the park. I had to put my little screen up because the sun was coming up in here and everything. But I didn't want to wait to, I got my hair a little frizzy and everything. I'm not that best presentation. But it's not all about that. It's about being obedient. When God drops something on you, to go ahead and share. And so I just wanted to put that out in the atmosphere. Didn't want to be on here long and everything. And so in the midst of the pandemic, whatever the purpose that God has called you to in this season, it's going to happen. And the seasons to come. We are overcomers, guys. Christ paid the price. The saints got it made. We as the saints got it made. Those who are departing, God has completed the assignment through them. More glory, promotion. Death is promotion for the saints. Whatever's going to take you out of here is going to promote you into the presence of God, where you will see his fullness and you will experience him in his fullness. That's a beautiful thing, saints. So I just want to encourage y'all that even in the midst of the pandemic, your purpose is going to come to pass. Speak that. Speak life. Regardless of what the enemy is bringing, you may have lost some loved ones. You may have lost some things. Still speak life. God, I thank you that in spite of this, I still have my mind. I still have my health. I still have a job. I still have income coming in. I still have a place. I still have a place to lay my head. I still have a car to drive. I have a place that I can go home to, a nice place to go home to and lay my head. That's mine. I still have my husband, still have my children and everything. If you're married or you're in college, your tuition is being paid for and everything. You have peace of mind regardless of what's going on around you, regardless of the news that you're hearing. You're still encouraged. That's a blessing. That is a blessing. So be encouraged. Know that you're coming to pass. Just like God brings earthly things to pass, you're coming to pass. Whatever the purpose that God and plan that God has for your life, it's coming to pass. Everything has been calculated in. So I just wanted to encourage you, to let you know that greater is coming. And we're going to be fulfilled. Christ is our fulfillment. There's some material things that God wants you to experience. Some things that he has for you. Not to make an idol out of it, not to focus on those things, but he just want to bless you and refresh you, especially of those of us who have gone through some things, some tumultuous seasons, but you hung on in there. You didn't give up. You may have failed in some things, but you didn't ultimately fall off or draw back and went back to your old life. No, you kept moving. In spite of the fall, in spite of what came against you, sickness and disease, financial lack, people turning their backs on you or betraying you. You still decided to stick it on in there with God. Don't you know God's going to honor that? Trouble don't last always. It really doesn't. So know that whatever God has for you in the earth realm, it's going to come to pass. It's just not all spiritual, but there's some material blessings that God wants to bless you with. So I just wanted to say that to you on this evening. I hope all of you all have a good, wonderful weekend, a refreshing weekend. Sometimes it's not always about going out, just going in, being in the house with your family or by yourself, watching a good movie, having you a good hamburger, or make you some spaghetti and some cornbread, and make you a pitcher of Kool-Aid. Just the little things that God can use to bring fulfillment. Just to, you already have your peace and everything, your relationship with God. That's a blessing. So it don't really take a lot. It don't take much. So like I said, I just wanted to get on here real quick to encourage you. Know that God is with us. He's never going to leave us nor forsake us. He loves us with an everlasting love, and He's not going to give up on you. He's not. And a lot of us have made up our decision that God is it for us. Ain't no going outside of Him. I don't care what the enemy, how much he highlights it, make it pretty, make it seem like it's silver and gold. But we know we're not ignorant. The Bible said we're not ignorant of His devices. And so some of us have said in our hearts that for God I live and for God I die. And so we just thank God for whatever we're going through this season and everything, and the people that He will bring into our life space to minister and be a blessing to, and for them to be minister to us and be a blessing to us. So just wanted to share that word. I hope you have a good evening, good weekend. We just thank God on this evening. May God bless you. May He keep you. May He cause His face to shine upon you in this season. And God bless. Again, this is Juanita Rogers with Living in the Word Ministry. Have a good evening.